Hi everyone, my name is Bogdan. I'll be talking today about access control vulnerabilities in GraphQL and REST API, and we will talk specifically about Field-D, which is a dating app, and how these access controls impact your mobile app and can lead to data exposure. So who am I? Co-founder and senior pentester at Forbridge, certified in pentesting, DevSecOps, and cloud security, especially GCP. And in the past, I've worked for Bet365, JP Morgan, and a couple more banks and companies with more than 10 years of experience in security. So what is this talk about? It is about the importance of access controls. According to OWASP Top 10, access controls in OWASP Top 10 API security are on number 1, known as broken object level authorization category, so BOLA, and for OWASP Top 10 web apps security in 2021, they are also on the first place known as broken access controls category. So they are probably the most important according to OWASP Top 10 API and web apps. So we will be talking about Field-D. What is Field-D? So this mobile app started in 2014 under the name of Trender. Trender and Tinder sounds alike. In 2016, they were forced to rename their mobile app to Field-D. Because of the naming conflict, I believe, Trender, Tinder. If the name, according to the name, probably you realize Trender was focused on a specific dating action, more specifically on threesomes. So it had a very specific purpose in terms of dating. In 2016, they renamed to Field-D and became more open to the world of dating. It's a dating app now, like any other mobile app, like Tinder, Bumble, and others. You can filter by distance, by age, by location, by gender. There are more than 10 genders, by couples. And for premium users, you can search for a specific type of kink that you're interested in, group scenarios, or the type of relationship you are interested in. On Android, it has more than 1 million downloads. Okay, let's discover a little bit the menus of this app. So we have the first menu, Discover Profiles, where you have photos of the person you're interested in, name, location, a short bio, and what the person is interested in. Then we have the second menu, the likes menu, to see who liked you. But as a basic user, everything is blurred. You see only the name, and you cannot interact with the buttons to like them back. You will have to upgrade to the premium user in order to get the premium functionality. Then we have the third menu, Messages, to message to the people you liked with. And the last menu, Profile menu, where you update your bio, photos, and you buy a premium membership. So this is, in short, about the Field-D app. Now, what we'll be discussing today? We will take the vulnerabilities. We found 8 vulnerabilities in the Field-D app related, 7 of them related to BOLA, and 1 of them related to BOLA, to broken object property level authorization, so still an access control issue. So let's take them one by one and see how access controls affect this app. But first of all, I forgot to ask, how many of you are students? I saw some young faces. Okay, very few students. Developers? Okay, a couple of developers. Pentesters? Quite a few more. DevSecOps people? Okay. And managers or CISOs? Okay, couple more. I'll try to give a little bit of info for everyone to be useful. Okay, let's cover the vulnerabilities one by one. So, disclosure of profile information to non-premium users. So as a basic users, as I've mentioned, you only see the name and the blurred photo. However, as a premium user, you'll get all the information available about this sender, in this case, Anna. However, if we use a proxy tool like Burp and we intercept the request, we will have all the information available. So let's see how we can reproduce this issue. So we go to the second menu, the likes, to see who liked us. We intercept the request in burp, and we see a GraphQL request called likes query. And in this response, we will see a user called Sam that liked us. We didn't like Sam back yet. Was active in London. This Sam user has a unique stream user ID, which will be important for the next vulnerability. And we have the photos for the user Sam. In this case, the URL to the first photo. So if we copy this URL from the third party, cloudinary.com, we will get this photo of the user Sam, which corresponds to the first one in the app. So if we are a basic user, we can literally get the premium information about this user without paying for the premium features. So this is the first issue where we can get the premium information. And the photo will be unauthenticated. So in case someone puts a more sensitive photo in this app, as let's say profile picture or any other in the profile, then it will be available unauthenticated on the internet. Okay. So we memorize this stream user ID value unique to every account. Now let's go to vulnerability number 2, read other people's messages. In order to do that, we will need our victim's stream user ID that we saw earlier. So let's try to reproduce this issue. We go to the first menu, discover profiles. We pick our target. Let's say we search for someone between a specific age range and what they are interested in. We check the response and pick a stream user ID unique to a specific account. Now we go to the messages and we intercept the endpoint for /channels. And from these messages, we add our victim's stream user ID value. We delete everything else. And once we send the request to the server with our victim stream user ID, we will get that victim's messages. And in this case, we will see the first one, hi Clo. If we search in the response for the text variable, we will see there are 92 matches, meaning there are 92 messages sent and received by our victim Clo. So that was the second issue where we can read our victims' messages using their unique stream user ID. Now, vulnerability number 3, this is the one that I like the most, and it builds upon the previous two issues. We can send messages, but as part of the application, we can also send sensitive attachments like photos and videos. Photos can be replayable and can also be time limited, meaning after a specific amount of time they delete themselves. And the videos can be as well replayable, or they can be played once only, after which you don't have access to it anymore. And as an attacker, in the end, we managed to get access to all of them unauthenticated. So let's reproduce the issue and see how we can do that. So to present the final result, to see the high-level picture, how this happens, the photos and videos, especially the photos, get uploaded to the third party, cloudinary.com. And then what I believe they've done is you upload the photo there, but then if it's something sensitive, they developed a new feature, hey, let's try to delete the photo. But because they wanted control over what endpoint gets deleted, the sender sends the sensitive, let's say, photo to the receiver. We want to delete it only from the receiver. So they created two new endpoints, the sender endpoint and the receiver endpoint. And when the photo gets accessed by the receiver, after 15 seconds, it gets deleted from only the receiver's endpoint. However, it will still be available from the sender endpoint, so that's one way to get the photo authenticated. However, they forgot about the initial link where the photo gets uploaded, and it will be available unauthenticated. So this is the final high-level picture, and now let's see how we can reproduce the whole chain. So step 1, let's upload the photo. We'll have a GraphQL operation, Cloudinary generate upload credentials. We will get back a public ID and a signature. The photo gets uploaded on API cloudinary.com. then a GraphQL operation upload chat attachments, which I suspect makes the photo available to the other two endpoints. Then it will be, the details of the photo will be sent in the chat to the victim. And now, to get the photo authenticated, we read the messages as the attacker of our victim. We see in the response an attachment section which contains the details of this attachment with the unique GUID of the image saying that the image is replayable. And then to access the photo authenticated, we go to this endpoint /cdn/chat attachment / here should be the GUID of the sender or receiver, but the backend was not even checking who sent the photo. They were just checking that the ID of the photo is valid. And once the ID of the photo was valid, it was returning you the photo. So here you could have put any character, would have still returned the photo. So this is how to get the photo authenticated. Now, to get the photo unauthenticated, we just have to prepend in front of the endpoint the v1 path, and this will return us the URL to the third party where the photo was uploaded originally. And in this case, if we copy paste the URL from the third party, we will get access unauthenticated to this photo, in this case being from our office. So nothing sensitive here. Okay, we saw for the replayable photos. Now let's take the next instance where we have time-limited photos. What's the difference between these two processes? In this process, the second one where the photo is time-limited, we have an extra parameter saying visibility milliseconds 15,000, meaning it will be available only for 15 seconds. And then instead of X in the endpoint, we will actually need the sender's GUID profile ID. So we'll have to leak it, which is doable. So let's reproduce the process, the whole chain again. We upload the photo. We will get, oh yes, it will send the visibility milliseconds 15,000 as well. As attacker, we read our victim's messages, so we use the stream user ID unique to our victim. We see there's an attachment section which says that the GUID of our image URL and that the image is view once only for 15 seconds. So we copy the GUID of the image, and then we have two ways to get to it. Once using the receiver's profile ID or the sender's profile ID. If the receiver already saw the photo, then we will see here, if we try to access it, that attachment has expired, meaning the receiver has already viewed it and we cannot see it anymore. Then we can use the sender's profile ID and we can see the photo because it's always available from the sender. And here we have two instances, the view in the Android app after the sender access his time-limited photo, saying photo expired, and the view on iOS after the sender access his time-limited photo at the top saying tap to view. So this was a small difference between the mobile apps, iOS and Android. Oh. Okay. So here was a small difference between the Android version and the iOS version, where the sender on Android could not access the photo he sent anymore, but on iOS he could access it. This didn't matter. As a sender, you can still get as an attacker, you can still get the sender's photo. So these are the two endpoints we can leak the photo authenticated as an attacker. And then if we want to get the photo unauthenticated, we just prepend v1 in front of the endpoint and we leak the URL from the third-party cloudinarea.com. And the victim will have no knowledge, or the sender will have no knowledge that we access the photo unauthenticated. Okay, let's try the videos as well. We upload the normal video. and it will be uploaded to streamiocdn.com, so a third party. The URL will be sent in the chat to the victim, to our counterpart, and it will say video, and that is replayable. As an attacker, we read the messages of our victim using their unique stream user ID, and we find the section with attachments saying that the video is replayable, and we have the URL. We copy the URL, but we replace this section here, \u0026, with the ampersand sign. And once we replaced it, we paste it in the browser, and we have access to the URL unauthenticated. So this was for normal videos. Now let's get play once videos. Again, we reproduce the issue, we upload the video, we get returned the URL, so we do that now as a normal user. The URL will be sent in the chat, and it will say that the URL will be view once only, and will be reflected in the response. The video will be play once only. We again, as an attacker, read our victim's messages, and we'll see the attachments section saying video, view once only with the URL. We replace again the special characters \u0026 with the ampersand sign, and we get unauthenticated access to the video sent. And we can see it as many times as we want without the victim or the sender knowing it. So what is seen in the app like a safe, secure implementation, all these videos and photos are available unauthenticated online. Okay, so this is before and after the receiver sees the video once. So before, you have here the message tab to view, and after you saw it, it says video expired. But if you copy paste the URLs online, they are available unauthenticated. Okay, next issue, delete, recover, and edit other people's messages. So we discovered that we can recover other people's messages that were deleted in a chat. In addition, we can edit and delete other people's messages. And in order to do that, we will need the unique message ID of the message that we want to recover. And this is easy to get because once we read the messages, next to the message, there is a message ID. So let's drop a message to someone, such as got any plans for tomorrow. It will be reflected in the response, and we have the message ID next to it, the unique message ID, in this case 8AD. Then we have the endpoint /messages/message ID. We delete that message as normal user, and it will be reflected in the response. Now, as an attacker, we read the messages of our victim, and it will see that the 8AD message, this message was deleted. So as expected, the functionality so far worked okay, as expected. But now, if as an attacker, we apply again the same method delete on the same message ID, we will get back the original. So what we did was just apply one more time the delete method on our message ID in order to get the original back. And then if we want to delete it again, you probably guessed it, we apply delete one more time in order to delete it as an attacker. And now, if we want as an attacker to edit the message, we just apply, so let's send another message. My phone number is 123. And as an attacker, we read that message. It will say, my phone number is 123. The victim receives the notification saying my phone number is 123. Now, as an attacker, we send a put method on that message ID, ending in 72, saying my new phone number is 456. We send the request, and once the victim clicks the notification, which was my phone number was 123, when they enter the app, it will now say my new phone number is 456, and it will show a small sign edited. However, you will have no knowledge regarding who edited it, because this is normal functionality in the app. Anyone can edit it, meaning the two participants, not the third participant like an attacker. So you will have no knowledge regarding who did the edit. Next issue, update someone else's profile information. So you can update someone else's profile information in this app, including name, sexuality, age, etc. The endpoint is /GraphQL, operation name profile update. So let's reproduce this issue. We are logged in as user 91 ending in 91F. This header tells the user that is authenticated as. We update our BOS ABCD, and here was our initial profile ID ending in 91F, but I changed it to that of a different user. And the response will be 200 OK for the user ending in 29C, as in the request. The BO has been changed to ABCDEF. So there's another example of lack of access controls where we can edit someone else's biography. Now, this is an interesting issue to get a like from any user profile. So you could send likes from profile number 2 to profile number 3 while being logged in as profile number 1. The endpoint is /GraphQL and the operation name is profile like. So let's reproduce the issue. We send a like while being logged in as 29C from ourselves to a random user, 91F, and is expected behavior is sent, is just a normal like. Then let's try to reverse the two values from 91F towards ourselves and see if it works. It will tell us bad request, you cannot like a profile you own. So then let's change the values from a random account to ourselves. In this case, from user 6D3 to 91F, while we are logged in as 29C. It will say sent, so this worked, but the question then becomes, who is this user 6D3? Because this account is another testing account of ours. So if we investigate, we make a profile query operation on that 6D3 account, we see that the imaginary name is Annie, is a woman of 26 years old, and their status is they liked us, we didn't like Annie back. So if we enter the mobile app and we go to the who liked us menu, because we have a premium account, we can see that Annie, I blurred the face, he's 26 years old and was last active 1 month ago. So indeed the action worked and we can control who likes who. Vulnerability number 7, we can send messages in other people's chats even though we are not a member of that chat. So we can send people messages in their chats. The endpoint is /channels/messaging/channel ID/message. So let's reproduce the issue. We read our victims' messages using their stream user ID, and we see a channel ID being mentioned in there, in this case ending in 0BD. We will go to this channel and we will post a message, hello from the attacker, and we see 201 created. The message has been sent in that channel ID. So the victim receives a notification from B, and it says, hello from the attacker. In this chat that we see here, the chat is between user D and Bogdan. However, the notification comes from a third user called B, in this case being the attacker. However, as part of the application, the names are not unique, so you can change your name to any name that you want, including that of your victims, to impersonate them. So this is a feature of the app to change your name because it's not unique. And the last vulnerability, view other people's matches. The endpoint is /GraphQL, the operation name is chatlist query. So we can check who did other people match with and their full profile information. So let's reproduce the issue. We go to the Discover Profiles menu. It will make a request to GraphQL with the operation name chatlist query, where it will query our own profile. So we are logged in as 29C, and it queries our own profile. And if in the response we search for imaginary name, it will say free matches, meaning we have free matches for our own profile. However, if we change this profile ID to that belonging of a different user, to that of our victim, let's say 91F, and we search for imaginary name, we see 45 matches, meaning they have 45 matches, and we can see more information about those matches. Remediation. For developers, implement authorization checks. This must be on the back end and not on the front end, as you saw. Implement user levels, basic user, premium user, and based on these user levels, implement access controls between them and restrict the information returned to the user. If it's basic user, do not return all the premium information to them. For DevSecOps people, integrate in your CI/CD pipeline security tools. This might be more challenging to discover such issues of access controls. It's difficult for the tools to make a difference between a GUID and another GUID are just random numbers. So there you might have to investigate manually. And for CISOs to do the data mapping, identify all personal data that your organization collects, processes, and stores, including where it's located. Implement data protection measures to protect the personal data, such as encryption, access controls, and regular testing. Because of lack of these controls, there were two big fines. In July last year, Uber was fined for sending driver's license from EU to US. And this year, TikTok was fined again for breaching GDPR for sending European user data to China. We reported these issues to FieldD, and even though the issues seem straightforward to fix, it took them more than 6 months to fix all of them. We soon afterwards published the blog, and when the users saw the slow kind of response to implement all the fixes, they were a little bit upset. And it was kind of a reaction online regarding this process. We published the research on our blog post. Then The Guardian shared more details about all of this event and came with possible implications, as there were lots of sensitive data. And regarding these slides, we will also publish them on our GitHub. Now, a short video of a gentleman, which I do not know, but described this event in a very funny way, and hopefully you'll understand it better than I explained it. Oh, let's see. Is there any sound?
1 foot.
Okay, maybe a little bit slow, lower.
Hold up. I put 1 foot in front of the other, but stuff still happens. So what's up? Polyamory is all the rage these days, but what if your data was polyamorous? Dating app Field was trying to do something different. They want to give you more options to dial in exactly what you're looking for. And they also exposed all of your information to everybody, like all of you, like everybody spoke like, whoa. I want to preface this by saying that Field now claims they have already solved all of these problems. But let's talk about what happened. Internet security firm Fortbridge did a test of Field's services and alerted Field that, hey, dog, anyone can basically do anything without even needing to hack your account. These are the things they were able to do just by poking and prodding. They were able to view photos that they weren't supposed to be able to see. They could read, edit, and delete other people's messages. They could send messages in other users' chats. They could edit other people's profiles. And they could also view other people's matches. And that's not the exhaustive list. So how did they do this? Did they hack into the mainframe? Did they, steal the CEO's thumbprint to get past biometric security? No, they just kind of looked at the data. Buckle up, boyos. We're gonna get nerdy with it. It's time for an education. When an app interfaces with a server, it uses a thing called an API. Basically, Field's API was hella fucked. The researchers looked at the data that was being sent to their app and found that their app was loading data that they weren't supposed to have access to for the purposes of showing them that they don't have access to the data. Like, here's a person's picture. They're blurred. You're supposed to have to, match with them or subscribe or whatever before you can actually see the photo. But they sent the photo to your phone and then blurred it on your phone. phone, so you actually have that data. Now, the average user isn't going to just randomly stumble upon this, but a bad actor wouldn't have to do a whole lot to get that information. But what's worse is they started then pushing back on the API, saying, hey, API, I swear I'm this other user. What can you do for me? And the API was like, oh baby, I do it all. So yeah, they were able to pretend that they were the app and say, hey server, I'm that person. Let me edit their profile. And the server was like, yeah, sure, that makes sense to me. Yeah, you absolutely are them. Consider this metaphor. You walk into a doctor's office and walk straight to the front desk and say, I'm John Weinman. I want my medical records. And they're like, okay, John Weinman, here you go. Here's your medical record. And then without breaking eye contact, you're like, I'm Lisa Lisaman. Also, give me my medical record. And they're like, absolutely, Lisa Man, here you go. Here's your medical record. You're like, okay, cool. Neat. The owners were learning of these vulnerabilities back in March, and they didn't fully tackle all of them until August, apparently. The blog post came out just last week. So hey, it's really easy to hear.
This was a funnier summary. Hopefully it made sense now. For other research on web apps, API testing, and open source contribution to phishing, feel free to check our blog post. And now a series of Q&A questions if there are any. If not, then feel free to ping me out or on LinkedIn. I'm available. Oh, one question. Yes. To the best of my knowledge, they did fix everything. Oh yes, the question was if they fixed everything, and to the best of my knowledge, they did fix everything, to the best of my knowledge. Yeah, if not that, thank you very much.